I have a son, Adam 14, from my previous marriage. I'm currently with my husband of 4 years. I handle everything related to Adam's school. He has a friend, Dean 14, that he started hanging out with a year ago. Dean is an amazing boy and has been nothing but a great influence for Adam. I met Dean's dad, Mike, who's a single dad, and we'd see each other daily for school pickup and drop-offs. My husband kept asking about Mike and pointed out that he's being boundary stomping, but I disagree. Unfortunately, Adam fell sick months ago and had to undergo a surgery recently. It's been hard, but Dean kept visiting. Sometimes Mike would come too, and my husband would either ignore Mike or make passive comments towards him. Mike picked up on that, and I told my husband to knock it off because his hostility affected Adam and Dean as well. Days ago, I found Adam crying in his room. This was weeks after getting discharged. I asked, and he said the Dean sent him a text telling him they were no longer friends and blocked his number. I was confused they were fine. I wanted to go talk to Dean, but the next day I found his phone in my husband's car. I confronted him, and he said he borrowed it from Dean, but I didn't buy it. After pushing, he confessed that he stole Dean's phone at the hospital and sent Adam a text telling him to not contact him again. I asked why, and he said it was all Mike's fault for being too close to me and acting inappropriately, and said that he didn't want to directly tell Adam to no longer speak to Dean and chose this strategy to not make Adam hate him while keeping Dean, and by extension Mike, away. This hit a nerve so hard, I started screaming at him. He said he already expressed how uncomfortable he felt with Mike being around, and I kept brushing it off. I said it was because of how ridiculous his argument was. Mike has been nothing but respectable and helpful. I yelled, calling him insecure and unreasonable, and also cruel for causing Adam heartache with his stunt. He begged me not to tell Adam, but I took the phone and returned it to Dean and explained to him and Adam what happened. Adam is no longer speaking to my husband, and he is blaming me for telling instead of keeping it between the adults like I'm supposed to. Not the idiot. I don't care what Mike was doing. I don't care what you were doing. He said he wanted it to stay between the adults, and yeah, it should have, but you didn't bring the kids into it. He did, because he stole a child's phone to manipulate your child. He stole from a child so that he could manipulate and lie to your child. He tried to ruin their friendship instead of being a man and trying to find a compromise, trying to actually communicate instead of passive-aggressively being an idiot to Mike and you. Literally anything that didn't involve trying to destroy a friendship between two children, one of whom was recovering from a surgery. You are the idiot if you stay married to this controlling, abusive man. He isn't just isolating you, he's isolating Adam from his best friend because he doesn't like that Dean's father is a single man you speak to. Stealing Dean's phone to text Adam to not contact him again just to keep Mike away from you does not sound like adult behavior. He needs to apologize to Adam and get counseling for his insecurity. Not the idiot for telling Adam. But you need to kick your spouse out of your life immediately. This is not how a normal, decent adult resolves what they perceive to be a problem in their relationship. Not the idiot. But now, to show him and your son what such action leads to, kick him out. This behavior from your husband is utterly disgraceful. How dare he? He decimated a relationship between two friends because he is so insecure in himself and his relationship. He tries to keep the boy's dad away from you. I hope you understand truly what this is. Your husband is jealous, insecure, and an absolutely immature jerk who preyed on your son's friendship to get another man away from you. And then said don't tell him. He has broken any trust either of you have. Kick him out. My boyfriend, 23, and I, 22, have been dating for 7 months now. He has a girl best friend, we'll call her R, and she hates me a lot. She always makes unnecessary comments about my upbringing. I had a great childhood and was incredibly privileged all my life, and I know that. My boyfriend and his girl best friend were not as fortunate as I was. I completely understand that we are from two completely different upbringings. I respect what they've gone through. R constantly brings up the fact that I grew up wealthy. She uses it as a jab against me, even though it's just a fact about my upbringing. Last Friday I met some of my boyfriend's other childhood friends. R was also present. We were having a good time at a restaurant. My birthday was June 8, and I revealed a Lady Dior bag from my dad and decided to wear the handbag since we were going to a quite fancy restaurant. As I said, we were having a great time until R brought the fact that they were struggling when they were young. They all told their most difficult moments in that time. I just silently listened until R said something about me not knowing what it's like for normal people. I just responded by saying that I had a good childhood and couldn't relate to their experiences. She then said that it must be nice being a spoiled princess and having mommy and daddy taking care of everything. Must be nice to walk around with a $5,000 bag while others have nothing. My mouth was completely open. She was very bold to say that. I looked at my boyfriend, thinking he'd say something. He just looked away from me. That just hurt me, so I told R that some of us had normal loving parents, unlike you. Not everyone grew up with addicted crazy parents. She got very upset and walked away crying. My boyfriend glared at me. I ended leaving after that. My boyfriend messaged me this morning, saying that I'm a massive jerk for saying something that was still so sensitive for R. That I was the disrespectful one for always rubbing my wealth in her face, and that I should apologize. I didn't respond back. He's also at fault for letting her insult me for this long. He didn't defend me all those times she said out-of-pocket crap. When she disrespects me it's completely fine, but as soon as I get disrespectful, it's not funny anymore. I feel guilty I mentioned her parents, but she should also respect me and my parents. I'm partially wrong for saying that about her parents, but I never shoved my wealth in her face. I had an expensive bag with me, that is not shoving my wealth in her face. I don't feel wrong for that at all. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. Your boyfriend's friend shouldn't have been disrespectful and mean just because you grew up wealthy. And she should not be taking her resentment of her own childhood on you. Your boyfriend should have told your friend to stop being disrespectful. The fact that he didn't speak up makes me wonder if deep down he thinks the same thing. You don't want to be judged on how you grew up, but you did the same to her. Also, you do know that people without privilege have also come from loving homes, right? Income does not equal love. Overall, it seems like you don't get along and are different people. Maybe rethink the relationship? Everyone's the idiot here. R is an idiot for constantly degrading you about growing up the way you did and using the way she grew up against you. Your boyfriend is an idiot for sitting there and doing nothing while R continued her abuse. They had a difficult childhood, but so did many other people, and they don't constantly bring it up. You're an idiot because you hit way below the belt. I get it, you're tired of R playing the little victim card, but you could have told her something along the lines of I understand you had a rough childhood, and I can't relate to that. I think you need to stop trying to make me feel bad about my childhood. Everyone has a story and a background, and while I've learned yours, you've only been judging me by what you see instead of trying to get to know me. Everyone's the idiot here. Your parents aren't normal, because normal incredibly relative, and your growing up incredibly privileged has nothing to with whether R's parents love her. It's incredibly crappy for you to insinuate that R's parents weren't loving because she didn't grow up as privileged as you did. She absolutely should not have attacked you, so she screws too. In your boyfriend's shoes, I'd be irritated with both of you. You may think about your response as fighting fire with fire, but in his mind, it sounds like you just validated all the reasons that R doesn't like you. My boyfriend thinks I'm a mini Karen. We've been doing our house up for a year. It was a massive project that we knew we wanted to do and want to continue buying houses and then doing them up and selling them. We were waiting on a delivery for gravel, as we've just redone the driveway. We booked and paid for a specific day for the delivery to come. My boyfriend took the day off that specific date as it was several tons of gravel to shift. I had to phone up on the day of the delivery to find out where the delivery was, only to be told it wasn't going to be there that day. The delivery was the following day, but only half turned up, so I had to phone up again to find out where it was. It was delivered on the third day. So here we are annoyed that boyfriend has had to take 2 extra days off work, and to find out we haven't enough. So we need to order more. It's a very specific gravel that you can only get a certain mix of at this one company. I emailed the company with my complaint, only for them to brush over it. And their customer service was absolutely appalling. I ordered the next lot begrudgingly. We book and pay for a specific delivery date. The date comes and goes. The delivery is a week late. But we haven't been told this. The late delivery dates are found out by me contacting them, not them letting us know. I've asked for a partial refund of the second delivery as we've had poor customer service twice now, and late delivery dates both times, resulting in boyfriend taking days off that he didn't need to. Boyfriend says I'm being a Karen for asking for a refund, but we didn't get the service paid for. So am I the jerk for wanting and requesting a refund? Not the idiot. The company breached the contract by not meeting a deliverable deadline without any communication on their side until you reached out. Not only that, you and your boyfriend suffered damages by taking limited paid time off to wait for them on that specific day, along with the delays of continuing the project. What if the roles were reversed? Bet they will serve you court papers for non-payment and breaching the contract. Nothing Karen-like about how you handle this situation. The boyfriend needs to grow a spine and learn to deal with confrontations. This monetarily costed you both time and effort. Not the idiot. Karen is definitely a term that gets thrown around divorced from its original meaning. You are justified to ask for a partial refund, and if you and your boyfriend continue to flip houses together, the cost of labor and time will only grow with each house you flip dealing with this company. You say this is the only company you can get this type of gravel from, but it might be worth looking further away for a reliable supplier and leaving an anonymous public review without identifying details to warn customers. Also, you should ask for a refund for that portion of your payment. Not the idiot. No, you are not a Karen. They've cost you more than the price of the product, and you deserve some compensation. Though I feel that how you go about getting this refund is what could possibly make you a Karen. Many people don't realize that you can be both assertive and polite. It's costing you extra every time you waste a day off work, and it's entirely their fault. There's a huge difference between Karen and wanting bare minimum service. I have not seen the email, but if you've handled this tactfully, then you should not be worried about being Karen in all this. Me, 32, and my wife, 29, have been together for 5 years. Recently, the first major issue in our relationship came up, and it has caused huge problems. In January of this year, I started to get sick. I was nauseous, had a fever. I was laying on the couch under a blanket with the chills. I assumed it was some sort of flu. My wife, on the other hand, would encourage me to stay up and about, discouraged me from taking time off of work because we'd have less vacation time this summer, and very much downplayed how sick I felt. My flu went away in about 4 days and came back with a vengeance 4 weeks later, and also caused back pain. Once again I was laid up, and this time my wife had no patience for me. She would tell me to man up, say this is just a bad cold, tell me I was being ridiculous, etc. I made an appointment to see my doctor about it, and she told me that was insane, that I just needed to take some pills, and I'd be fine. She told me I had the man flu, and lectured me about how men who are barely sick exaggerate their symptoms because they don't know how to handle illness. Eventually, after much convincing, I cancelled my appointment. This cycle began a 3rd time recently, and I insisted on seeing my doctor. I think at this point she knew there was something going on too, so she didn't eject. After doing some tests, my doctor told me I had a kidney infection that's been partially resolving on its own and coming back. And he told me I should have come to see him months ago, because waiting to see my doctor could have permanently damaged my kidneys. I am furious. I'm mad at myself for canceling my last appointment. I'm mad at my wife for insisting nothing is wrong and convincing me to cancel my last appointment. Now we are stuck in the house together, and I'm sleeping in the basement because we have a spare bedroom down here, and I honestly don't want to deal with the drama of this situation while I am recovering for a third time from a kidney infection. Am I the idiot for how I'm acting? She insists she couldn't have known how bad it was and that my health is my responsibility, so I can't be mad at her. Not the idiot. A kidney infection can become septic and possibly kill you. You shouldn't have cancelled your appointment, but I understand what you did if your wife was berating you. I had a kidney infection last year, and it was the sickest I've ever been in my life. I'm a woman, so I knew it wasn't man flu and went to the doctor the first day I had chills and fever and was admitted to the hospital due to possible urologic emergency. It will take a while to get your strength back, and you may want to use that time to consider whether your wife is the person you want to have your back for the rest of your life. I hope you feel better soon. Not the idiot. Man flu? That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. There's definitely people that exaggerate, but making up symptoms is an actual serious psychological problem. Don't ever allow her to bully you into believing you shouldn't see a doctor. Your wife is an idiot, no doubt. But you're an adult, so unless your wife is a medical professional, you really shouldn't be making decisions about your health based on her opinion. And even then, there's never any harm in going to the doctor. It's not like she was physically preventing you from going to the doctor, so at the end of the day, you really can't blame her. Not the idiot. The only times I've heard my married friends use the term man flu is when the man has the sniffles and acts like he's dying, which is definitely not what you did. I've known whole households, kids and all, have bad colds, flu and expect the wife to take care of everyone, even if the woman is also so sick that she can barely function, but is still forced to do everything, even though she also has a fever and feels like death, but the husband has a mild sickness, which did not happen. Does she think men don't get really sick ever? Dump her and find someone who actually cares about you.